Shalom, my name is Yair Davidiy. I'm speaking to you from Brit-Am in the territory of Judah, near the biblical site of Bethlehem, as it was in those times in the area of Judah. And today we are about to discuss the Messiah, son of David. The Messiah, this is one of the most important concepts in religious thought, in biblical thought. The concept of the Messiah, of a Redeemer who will come in the end times, is inherent within biblical thought, with the very essence of creation entails the expectation of a future redemption that will be brought about through the agency of a human being. And just as we had Moses, who led the people of Israel out of Egypt and redeemed them and gave them the Torah, so too in the end times will we have another Redeemer, another leader who will come and lead us and guide us and teach us and tell us what to do, and will continue the process and complete the process that the other prophets had done before him. And the Messiah is found throughout the Bible, the idea of the Messiah. And in order to appreciate it, or to gain some degree of appreciation, of comprehension of this subject, we should, by rights, consider all of the sources as one whole, consider them all together. But nevertheless, for convenience sake and for the sake of references and for our own purposes, we have divided this study up into three main sections. There's the Messiah, son of David, the Messiah in general, and the Messianic age. There's also a related notion concerning the Messiah, son of Joseph, who's not the same as the Messiah, son of David, and plays a lesser role in the Messianic process. And we will discuss all of these different aspects, all of these different facets of the subject as we go, as we progress. At present we're going to discuss the Messiah, son of David, or we're going to concentrate upon this aspect of the Messianic figure of the Messiah. Incidentally, the word Messiah comes from the Hebrew. The Hebrew word is Mashiach. Mashiach literally means anointed. It's accustomed to anoint kings and sacred objects with consecrating oil in biblical times. So a leader, someone who's appointed to be the leader, would be anointed. So the Messiah is called the Mashiach, the anointed one. He is the appointed one. He is the one who will come in the future, and he will do what has to be done according to the tasks laid upon him by the Almighty. And we have the Messiah, son of David. The Messiah will be descendant of David, King David. And the Messiah will be descendant of King David. He will at first save Judah and Jerusalem. After that, the 10 tribes. So he will bring about reconciliation between Judah and the 10 tribes, and he will help the 10 tribes return. He will guide them. And this process may have been begun by another leader known as Messiah, son of Joseph, but that is a separate study. At all events, the Messiah, son of David, will complete the process, and he will bring deliverance both to Judah and to the 10 tribes, and to Joseph. David was the son of Jesse, or Yishai in Hebrew, and what in Hebrew, Yishai, Jesse is how it's transliterated. David is known as the son of Jesse, and the branch of Jesse, or seed of Jesse, or some such type of addressing using the name Jesse is synonymous with David, with the Messiah, son of David. And it had been prophesied that in general by Jacob, the forefather. Jacob was also known as Israel. When Jacob brought the tribes together, he gave each one of them their own separate blessing, and he said that the future ruler, ultimate Redeemer, would come from Judah. Jesse, remember that Jesse and after him David were from the tribe of Judah. Genesis 49:10, it says, "A scepter, the rulership shall not depart from Judah, and not a lawgiver from between his feet, until Shiloh comes, and to him shall be the ingathering of the peoples. We could discuss what this means, but in general it refers to a future Messiah who will bring about the rectification of wrongs that have been done, and he will cause the tribes of Israel to regather together into one whole. And then we have, as we said, seed of Jesse means the father. It means the father, Jesse being the father of David. Seed of Jesse is another way of referring to the Messiah, son of David. Isaiah spoke much of the Messiah and the Messianic age, and we find in Isaiah, for instance, Isaiah 11:1-10, the descendant of Jesse, that is the Messiah, son of David, is described as the one who will bring about an age of justice and righteousness to all the world, and he will rule this world from the holy mountain. See Isaiah 11:9, the holy mountain being in Jerusalem. The passage begins Isaiah 11:1. Isaiah 11:1 tells us, "Then a shoot shall spring from the stem of Jesse, and a branch from his roots shall bear fruit. The Spirit of the Lord will rest on him, the Spirit of wisdom and understanding, the Spirit of counsel and strength, the Spirit of knowledge and the fear of the Lord, and he will delight in the fear of the Lord, and he will not judge by what his eyes see, nor make a decision by what his ears hear. But with righteousness he will judge the poor, and decide with fairness for the afflicted of the earth. And he will strike the earth with the rod of his mouth, and with the breath of his lips he will slay the wicked. Also righteousness will be the belt about his loins, and faithfulness a belt about his waist. And the wolf will dwell with the lamb, and the leopard will lie down with the young goat, and the calf and the young lion are fattening together, and the little boy will lead them. Also the cow and the bear will graze, their young will lie down together, and the lion will eat straw like the ox. Nursing child will play by the hole of the cobra, and the weaned child will put his hand in the viper's den. They will not hurt nor destroy in all my holy mountain. The earth shall be full of the knowledge of the Lord, the knowledge of God Almighty. The earth shall be full of the knowledge of the Lord, as the waters cover the sea. Then in that day the nations will resort to the root of Jesse, that is the Messiah son of David, Mashiach ben David, the root of Jesse. Then the nations will then in that day the nations will restore to the root. They will come back, return to the root of Jesse, who will stand as a signal for the peoples, and its resting place will be glorious. We also have the promise given to Solomon. Solomon was the son of David. Solomon became king of Israel after David, and it was promised that from the seed of David through Solomon would come a ruler of all of Israel. Should be remembered that David had at least 6 wives, including Bathsheba, at least 7, if not more. And he had quite a few children, quite a few sons, as we find references to them scattered throughout the books in the Bible speaking of David. But Solomon, his son, Solomon became king after him, and it was promised that the future ruler over all of Israel for eternity would be a descendant of David through Solomon. We find in 1 Chronicles 22 verse 9 and 10, "Behold, a son will be born to you, who shall be a man of rest, and I will give him rest from all his enemies on every side. For his name shall be Solomon," in Hebrew Shlomo. "For his name shall be Solomon, and I will give peace and quiet to Israel in his days. He shall build a house for my name, and he shall be my son, and I will be his father. And I will establish the throne of his kingdom over Israel forever." We also find in 2 Chronicles chapter 7 verse 18, "Then I will establish your royal throne as I covenanted with your father David, saying, you shall not lack a man to be a ruler in Israel." This was a promise given to Solomon. And through Solomon, the descendants of Solomon, will emerge the future Messiah, son of David, who will save the earth and save all of humanity, and will save the people of Judah, that is the Jewish people, and also restore the lost 10 tribes and bring them back and reunify them with Judah. And they shall be one people, as we find in Ezekiel 37. In Jeremiah 33, he also speaks of the Messiah, speaks of a righteous branch of David, that is the Messiah, son of David. And this Messiah, son of David, will bring justice and judgment to the earth in Jeremiah 33:15. And his main concern, however, will be for Judah, this implied, and Judah and Jerusalem, Jeremiah 33:16. And the house of David will reign forever, Jeremiah 33:17. It says, Jeremiah 33, in those days and at that time, I will cause a righteous branch of David to spring forth, and he shall execute justice and righteousness on the earth. In those days Judah shall be saved, and Jerusalem shall dwell in safety. And this is the name by which he shall be called, the Lord is our righteousness. For thus says the Lord, David shall never lack a man to sit on the throne of the house of Israel, and the Levitical priest shall never lack a man before me to offer burnt offerings, to burn grain offerings, and to prepare sacrifices continually. The temple will be rebuilt, the sacrifices will be restored according to most opinions, and the world will be a better place to live in. The Messiah comes first to the Jews, as we find in Zechariah 9, another section, so Zechariah 9 verse 9, it says, rejoice greatly, O daughter of Zion, Zion being another term for Jerusalem, or for Jerusalem, for the Jewish people. Shout in triumph, O daughter of Jerusalem, behold your king is coming to you, he is just and endowed with the salvation, humble and mounted on a donkey, even called the foal of a donkey. So maybe that at the very beginning the Messiah will be humble. There will be humble beginnings, but afterwards his greatness, his rulership over all of the earth will become apparent. Messiah, son of David, will deliver both Judah and Israel. We find in Jeremiah 23, behold, the days are coming, declares the Lord, when I will raise up for David a righteous branch. I will raise up for David a righteous branch, and he will reign as king and act wisely, and do justice and judgment in the land. In these days Judah will be saved, and Israel shall dwell securely. Judah and Israel, when they are juxtaposed, that refers to Judah, the Jewish people, and the 10 tribes of Israel. Together they will be saved by the Messiah, son of David, as it says in Jeremiah 23, beginning from verse 5. Verse 6 says, in his days Judah will be saved, and Israel will dwell securely, and this is the name by which he will be called, the Lord our righteousness. Verse 7, Jeremiah 23 verse 7 tells us, therefore, behold, the days are coming, declares the Lord, when they will no longer say, as the Lord lives, who brought up the sons of Israel from the land of Egypt, but as the Lord lives, who brought up and led back the descendants of the household of Israel from the northland, and from all the countries where I had driven them, then they will live on their own soil. So this refers to the 10 tribes being brought back from the Northland in the end times. Northland is where a major portion of the lost 10 tribes will be at that time. Hosea, the prophet Hosea, also speaks a lot about the 10 tribes. Most of the book of Hosea, in effect, is addressed to the 10 tribes and describes the 10 tribes. So here and there, there also there's references to Judah and points concerning Judah. The main emphasis of the book of Hosea is on the 10 tribes. Hosea himself, according to tradition, was from the tribe of Reuben. He himself was a part of the 10 tribes, and he prophesied concerning them. And amongst other things, he says in Hosea 3, afterwards shall the children of Israel return. That is, the children of Israel in this sense, and according to the context, means the 10 tribes. They shall return. They shall seek the Lord their God and David their king, and shall come trembling unto the Lord and to his goodness in the end of days. So those 10 tribes will return, and they will seek the Lord God of Israel, and they will seek David their king. And there's a Midrash Shmuel 13, Yalkut Shimoni 2, Ramos 106, also Rashi on Hosea chapter 3 verse 5, which quotes from the Midrash. This is based on verses in Hosea chapter 3. It says that when Israel returns to seek God, and that is, by Israel means the 10 tribes, when Israel from the 10 tribes returns to seek the God of Israel, and to seek the temple, to rebuild the temple, and the kingdom of David, then the redemption will come. Then the world will be delivered from its oppression and from the injustices that rule over it. And the lost 10 tribes are the ones who have to make the search and have to seek this out and begin the process of rectification and of reconciliation. The Lord God of Israel bless all of you. Thank you.